start recording in case any of our friends who couldn't come right now want to join later, they can watch. Okay, so we're going to start today. We're talking about measurement. Has anybody seen any of the measurement videos on Google Classroom this week? Gabby, you did? Amanda did? Did anybody? No, you didn't yet? Not this week? Okay, I posted a couple this week. Amanda, did you see one?
Yes.
What was it about?
I saw one in Google Classroom today.
Yeah, and do you remember what it was about? What was it teaching us?
Measuring.
Yep. Okay. Lorenzo, did you see one too about measurement? Yeah. Do you remember anything that was in it? Thanks, Amanda. You can mute again, okay?
Miss Anna, I have something to tell you.
Okay.
So right now, my mom is in our kitchen having a meeting, and she doesn't really like me when I'm in the couch because then I fall asleep. So right now I'm in the stairs and I'm sitting in one step and using another step for a table.
It looks like it's working. Is that an okay spot for you? It's okay to me. That looks good to me. Okay. Lorenzo, did you learn anything about measurement from the other video? Do you remember anything you saw on there, buddy?
Yes.
Yeah, can you tell us? Because it doesn't sound like anybody else saw it yet, just you guys. So can you share?
I saw on there. I saw it.
You saw what?
Forearm.
Michael still can't see anything, Miss Anna. I don't know if we needed something.
What device are you guys on?
We are on the Chromebook.
Okay, so the Chromebook is not the best device to use for it. Like you can, but I have heard that there can be technical issues with it. So if you guys have a tablet or if he has a Switch, it might be better. Because I don't know how to fix it. But we have had a couple other kids that sometimes it works on the Chromebook and sometimes it's been black. So
Okay.
okay, friends, we're gonna get started. Lorenzo, did you have something you wanted to tell us about what you saw? No? Okay, we're gonna move on. I can't wait too long for your answer, okay? If you think of it later, you can share in the chat. All right, thumbs up if you can see my screen. It should be a cute little Bitmoji of me with two rulers in my hands, two different measuring tools. Can you see that? Give me a thumbs up if you can see it, please. I'm looking at Lorraine, Raul. I don't see thumbs. Do you guys see it or no? Thank you. Okay, so can I have, actually I skipped one screen. We're gonna have somebody read this to me. Raul, can you please read for me our learning target?
I can't decide when to use a ruler, yardstick, or measure tape.
That was nice and clear. Thank you, Raul. What is the action word that we're doing today? Can everyone please go to the chat and see if they can type the action word? What are we doing? Go ahead and type it. Juliana, you think you saw a measurement lesson too? I did put one up yesterday. Maybe you did. All right, I'm waiting to see a couple people's answers in the chat about what is the action word. What are we doing today? So, Lorraine, we are learning about measurement. Yes, we are, but I want to know what the verb is. What are we going to do? It doesn't say we're going to measure. It says we're going to decide. That is our action. We're going to decide. Can somebody explain what that means? Malik, what's your hand up for, buddy?
We're describing.
It's like there might be some describing. Okay, but why does it say we're going to decide when to use a different tool? Can anybody else explain me that? Gabby, do you have any other idea? Sorry, Gabby, I don't see you. I didn't know if you wanted to answer. Go ahead, Gabby.
So it's telling us when to use a yardstick or a measuring tape.
Exactly. We have to make a decision. We have to say when is a good time to use each tool. And we used some of these tools in school back in October. Do you guys remember using these? You can show me a thumbs up if you remember using rulers, measuring tape. We had like the white measuring tapes. All right, and then we have it in Spanish. Amanda, will you read in Spanish for us?
Yo puedo decidir cuándo usar una regla de yardas o una cinta métrica.
Gracias, Amanda. So son las tres mismas herramientas, ¿ok? Y aquí el verbo es decidir. Vamos a decidir cuándo usar cada uno. All right, so I've got 3 tools up here, and I want you guys to tell me which one is the ruler, which one is the yardstick, which one is the measuring tape. So in the chat box, you're going to type the answer. You're going to type A, B, or C. So which one is a ruler? ¿Cuál es la regla? Which one's the ruler? A, B, or C? Type your letter and send it in the chat to everybody so we can see it. I see somebody said A, some people are saying C. Oh, I'm glad. It looks like Michael can see now. I'm really glad, Michael. Rafael, Raul. And Miss Aponte, I just gave Roxelli the information again, so if you'll just check the waiting room too and make sure if she's coming in.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so John has got 2 guesses. All right. Let's see who wants to explain to us what they think. Ralphie, can you explain to us your choice?
It's D.
You wrote B or C, right? And what are you thinking about?
Yes. Because B is the ruler.
Mm-hmm. What do you notice that's different about B and
So
C?
well, B is B is that type of ruler, but a bigger kind.
Okay.
It's
look-
C.
Go ahead.
It's like a little more.
So he's saying B looks like a ruler, but it's
like-
bigger,
it's-
and then C looks like a ruler. Is that what you're saying, Ralphie? Okay, so I'm gonna let friends know C is our answer. C is the ruler. And then B is a kind of ruler, but it's got a different name, okay? It's like really long, like Ralphie said. It's actually 3 times the size of a regular ruler. And so which one do you think is that called? Do you think that's a yardstick or a measuring tape? You can tell me in the chat. Do you think B is a yardstick or a measuring tape? Type it in the chat. Type it in the chat. If you don't know how to spell it, the words are at the top of this screen. It says ruler, yardstick, measuring tape. So choose the word that you think describes letter B now. I told you it's not a ruler. C is the ruler, and B looks like a ruler, except it's very long. It's 3 times the size. It is a
So I have some
yard.
people saying yardstick.
I agree. Yep, not a ruler. Okay, which letter is a measuring tape? Type the letter in the box. I'd like to see everybody type on a letter that they think is the measuring tape. And just type your answer in once and we'll get it, okay? Just once.
So Ralphie, we got the answer, honey. Okay, you only need to type it once.
Michael, now I want to know which one is the measuring tape, okay? Which letter, A, B, or C? I see a lot of A's. A is a measuring tape, and they can all be used to measure, but they are used sometimes for different things. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So here I've got the 3 different things. The first one was called a measuring tape. Can I have somebody read? Ms. Aponte, could you choose somebody to unmute and read?
Javion.
Done.
Go ahead, buddy.
No. Hello.
Hi, Janaya. We can choose you to read in a minute, okay? Right now we're asking Javion. Javion, can you unmute, buddy?
I'm muting myself.
Go ahead, buddy.
Measuring tape. Long objects and
Distances.
distances.
Especially.
Especially.
Especially if they are not at a flat shape.
Yes. So if it's not a flat shape, we could use a measuring tape. Why would we use a measuring tape if the object is not flat? Who would like to answer that? You can raise your hand and they can help us call.
Gabby?
So Gabby, why would we use it?
Be different. You can measure things to know how long they are.
Ms. Aponte, did I look frozen?
And you can use it to measure different kinds of things like chairs.
Yes, you could. Why would you want to use a measuring tape if the object is not flat? So like if the object is maybe round, why would we want to use the measuring tape instead of the other object?
You could measure an orange, that's round.
Yes, you can, but what I'm trying to ask is why would we use the tape up there instead of the yardstick? Why would I use the measuring tape instead of the yardstick or instead of the ruler? Go ahead, Gabby.
Because the ruler is flat and straight, and both of the yardstick and the ruler are both flat, and the measuring tape is flat, but you can use it, like you can measure round things because it can bend.
So that's exactly it. Gabby's saying the measuring tape can move and bend, but a ruler and a yardstick can't bend. So if you're trying to measure a ball or something long that's not flat, you might want to use the tape. All right, Ms. Aponte, can you choose somebody to read our next one for us?
Lorenis.
Okay, go ahead, Lorenis. You're unmuted. We don't hear you, friend. Are you talking?
I could pick someone else.
Okay. I don't know if her volume's not working, Lorenis. Can you pick it up and put it near your face? Because we just see your feet right now. We don't know if you were talking or not, and we don't know if your volume's working.
You need to answer when they call on you.
Um,
On.
how
Maybe
about
Juliana. Yeah. Go ahead, Ju.
Oh, Juliana, you have to unmute yourself, honey.
Yardstick, longer objects and distances if they are straight and flat.
Thank you very much. And then I'm going to read the last one. It says a ruler is for shorter objects, okay? Because the ruler is shorter. So if it's a short object, we'll use a ruler. So now, guys, I'm going to have you type in the chat box. So I'm hoping to see everybody's name in the chat box when I ask. We're looking at each object and we're going to decide, is it going to be, are we going to use a ruler to measure it, a yardstick, or a measuring tape? And the answers or the different words are at the top of the screen so you can see them to spell them. So for the pencil, everybody go to the chat box. What would we use to measure a pencil? How long a pencil is? Go type in the answer. What would we use to measure a pencil? And thank you, Ralphie. Ralphie was in the chat box trying to help us decide when to use a measuring tape by telling us it bends. Ralphie was also the first one in the chat box with his answer. Thank you, Gabby. She's in there too. What are we using, Janaya, to measure a pencil? A ruler, a yardstick, or a measuring tape? Thank you, Jana. Thank you, Janaya. Thank you, Lorraine.
Yep, I see a lot of people putting ruler.
Okay, so we would use a ruler. You could use a yardstick, but it's just really long. So the best thing to use would be a ruler because the pencil's short. All right, how about the beach ball? A ruler, a yardstick, or a measuring tape? Go ahead to the chat and type. Jania's already in the chat. All right, I have a couple of answers. I see somebody saying yardstick, some people saying measuring tape. So because the ball is round, we want to use the measuring tape because it bends. So not a yardstick for this one because the yardstick cannot bend around the ball. Okay, so here we're using a measuring tape. All right, how about for the table? Ruler, yardstick, or measuring tape? Jana, can you come on back or do you have to watch him? Can you ask somebody else to watch him for a little bit so you could do your math with us? And Javian, can you turn your video back on? So for the table, a yardstick, because it's flat and long, okay? You could use a measuring tape too, but the yardstick is flat and long and so is the table. Okay, crayon, go to the chat. What would we use to measure a crayon? A ruler, a yardstick, or a measuring tape? Go ahead to the chat. Why would we use a ruler, Janaya? Can you unmute? Why would we use a ruler for the crayon? I like your answer. I just want you to see if you can explain to us, why did you pick ruler?
Because
What do you notice about the crayon? Is it long or short? Is it flat or
Short.
round? Okay,
short.
it's shorter and the ruler's shorter. So I agree. And it's like flat, and so we could just use the ruler. All right, we're gonna skip forward actually, and we're gonna go to this game that we're gonna play, and you have to type the letter in the chat box of the right answer, okay? You're gonna choose the correct tool. You're gonna choose the tool, and then you type your answer in the chat box. Okay, so I'm going to share a different screen with you. So give me a second. I'm going to share a screen. All right, right now you might see my computer background. And can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can see it? The game should say I can measurement, start. I should see a few more thumbs. Thanks, Michael. Thank you, Ms. Aponte, for helping me. Okay, so we'll start. And then you guys will type your answer in the chat. So it says, which tool would be best for measuring the length of a water bottle? So you want to know how tall or long the water bottle is. We're not trying to measure around it, okay? How tall is it? Are we going to use a ruler A, yardstick B, or measuring tape C? Go to the chat. So you just have to put a letter. You can put A, B, or C. I like that Ralphie even put a reason. He put that it's short. So since it's not super long, he chose his answer. See a lot of A. And I like Ralphie's explanation. So if you have extra time, you can type me an explanation why. And Ralphie said, because the water bottle is pretty short, right? Shorter than a ruler. Great. All right, so I'm going to click the answer. We'll see if we got it. Got it. Which tool would be best for measuring the length of a football field? Oh, Michael, we might need your help here. A ruler. B, a yardstick. C, a measuring tape. And if you have an idea of why you chose your answer, you can type that too.
Santa, is it a fake one or an actual one?
That's a good question. A real football field. So if you were to see a football field outside, how would you measure how long that football field is? What would be the best tools? There might be more than one. If you've got a good reason, you could tell me why it could be more than one. But it definitely, I would not use all three of these tools. I see some A, I see some B, I see some C. We might have to talk about this one. Can somebody talk to us a little bit about what they're thinking? Michael, what are you thinking? You can unmute, buddy. I think I got you. Go ahead, Michael. You're unmuted, Michael. We can hear you. What are you thinking, bud? Say that again. Ms. Aponte, can you hear him?
He's like in and out.
All right, try one more time, Michael, buddy. I can't really hear you, but if I go back and I look at your answers, Michael first said yardstick, right, Michael? You said yardstick. Is a football field long or short?
Long.
Super long. Super long. So a yardstick we could use, and we would have to walk and use the yardstick and keep moving the yardstick. We could use it though because the football field is also flat. There's one other tool on here that we could use and it wouldn't be so hard to use. What's the other tool? So yardstick, B, or what's the other one? I see Gabby showing me with her hand. C, B or C, because a measuring tape was also long. What would happen if you tried to use a ruler to measure the whole football field? Jonna, what would happen if we tried to use a ruler to measure the football field? Uh-oh, Jonna, you look frozen, so maybe I can't pick you right now. Are you frozen? Oh, no. Go ahead, try. What would happen if we took a ruler out there to measure? We'd put the ruler down, we'd pick it up, we'd have to keep moving it. What would happen? Not sure? Yeah, it's an interesting question. Anybody got an idea of what they think would happen if we tried to use a ruler?
Gabby?
it would take a long time because
Yes,
you would
girl.
have because you have to use a bunch of rulers.
You would either have to pick the ruler up and keep moving it, or you would need a ton of rulers. It would take a long time. So I guess we could use a ruler, but it's not the best. This question says what would be the best for measuring. So we're going to click our yardstick, which Michael told us. And because it's flat, I think the yardstick works great. When you actually hear, if you listen to football games, they talk about yards. And all those lines on the football field mean yards. They mean 10 yards, 20 yards. That's how they're measuring. All right, what tool would be best for measuring the length of a swimming pool? Please type your answer. A, ruler, B, yardstick, C, measuring tape. Please type in the chat box.
I said C, measuring tape, because it's very long.
It is very long, and so it's kind of like the football field like that. It's long, so we could use C. Is there anything else we could use? I see some people saying C. Anything
Or
else? Janaya
or
said
use-
yardstick. Lorraine's also said B and C. I agree. I think we could use B or C. A yardstick or a, Jonna, there's no D. We're doing A, B, and C. All right, how about what would be the best for measuring the length of a child?
An accident.
So remember, when we use a ruler if the things are shorter. We use a yardstick if they're longer and flat. We use a measuring tape if they're longer and not flat. So which one do you think would be the best? We might be able to use more than one, but first I want you to answer, which do you think would be the best?
The measuring tape.
Why do you think that, Gabby?
Because you could measure a child because the tape is long,
Mhm.
like very long, like really long, and you can measure a child easily. if
Okay,
you
so
were
the
to.
tape is long and a child might be tall, and so the tape might be helpful. Also, is a child perfectly flat? Thumb up or thumb down? Is a child
It's too
perfectly
hot
flat
out there.
or not?
I'm sweating.
Not perfectly
Me
flat.
too.
So I agree with measuring tape. All right, which tool would be, this is gonna be our last one. Which tool would be best for measuring the
Woke
length
up
of a pencil? A, ruler, B, yardstick, C, measuring tape.
A ruler.
Type your answer in the chat first, and then we'll talk about them. Malik, what do you think, buddy? Can you tell us what your idea was? What's your idea, Malik?
I think it's A.
You think it's A? Why do you think it's A?
Because it's more shorter and it's
Malik, it looks like a lot of people in the chat agree with you that a pencil is short. And so A is the correct answer. Nice job, friends. Nice job. All right, we're gonna move on a little bit. My friends are doing a nice job today. When I ask you if you can share, I appreciate if you unmute yourself quickly, okay? Because sometimes it's taken us a long time to click the unmute button. And I really appreciate when people participate, okay? So if I call on you, I love when you're just like, sure, I'll do it. And you'd show us, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna put my slideshow back on. Okay, so we already decided when to use each object for measuring. Now we're going to use a ruler to measure. Now we're actually going to use a ruler to measure. Does anybody have a ruler at their house? Show me a thumbs up if you have a ruler at your house. If you do, it would be great. Oh, look at my friend Amanda's got one with her. If you do have a ruler at your house, it would be great to use your ruler and practice measuring with it around the house, okay? So what we're doing is we're looking here. This is a ruler, and before in October, we were measuring using centimeters, little centimeters. Now we're gonna measure using inches. Look at my picture on the screen and look for the word inches, okay? It's right there. So when we measure on a ruler, we have to line the object up all the way to the back of the ruler or wherever the 0 would be, okay? This ruler starts at 1, so that means I know that the end of the ruler is 0. Now, how long is this candle? Can you type in the chat box how long the candle is, please? Go to the chat and type how long our candle is. Look where it ends. I'm looking for an answer from everybody.
Miss Anna,
Yeah?
I'm gonna go get my ruler.
You actually don't need your ruler right now. That's something you can practice with later because we're just gonna measure using the ruler on the screen, okay?
Okay.
Thanks though. All right, so I see people saying 3. And please remember that we're gonna write 3 inches because that's what we're measuring using, okay? The candle is 3 inches long. All right, I'm gonna show you another object. We have to line it up to the back of the ruler and it's a spoon. So go to the chat and I want you to type in the chat how long the spoon is. Now I wanna tell you right now, it might not be exactly one number. And if it's not exactly one number, John Eddie's just already figured out we got something going on. She's saying 5 or 6 because what happened? What did you notice, Jonna?
I put 7.
Hang on a
What I
second,
noticed
Gabby.
what I noticed was that it was in the middle of 5 and 6.
Okay, so she sees that it's between 5 and 6. Gabby, why are you saying 7, friend? After you heard John Eddie's explain hers, do you see what she's saying? The spoon is between 5 and 6. So I'm going to show you guys how to write that. If it's right in the middle or it's really close to the middle, we're going to write it like this. Do you guys see on my screen? It says 5. And then you're going to write 1/2. And that means 5 and, does anybody know what it means? Anybody know what that means? 5 and then I wrote that little thing 1/2. That means 5 1/2. Lorraine's, can you come sit back down and join us? We're going to be done in a little bit, okay? Just a few minutes. It means 5 1/2. So the spoon is right in between 5 and 6. All right. We're going to do a little practice. How many inches long is this shoe? So we have to go to the end of the shoe, go down and see. Is it exactly on a number? Is it in between 2 numbers? Jonna looks really focused. She's already looking at the screen to try and figure out her answer.
It looks like it's at 3.
So Gabby, look at the arrow. It's actually not quite at 3. It's before 3. See that? Because 3 would be all the way over to the right. So Lorraine is saying it's between 2 and 3. Janaya saying 3. And Janaya, I'm going to ask you the same thing. It's close to 3, but it's not quite there. It's really in the middle between 2 and 3. So how would we write that if it's between 2 and 3? Remember how I just showed you? Can everybody go to the chat? Lorenzo, go in the chat, buddy, and tell me what you think. How long is the shoe? Malik, come to the chat too, buddy. Juliana, I love your trying. Juliana put 3 1/2, but it's actually not 3 1/2, right? It's not bigger than 3.
2 1/2.
It's going to be 2 1/2. Yep, there you go, Juliana. 2 1/2. There we go. 2 1/2 inches. So we can remember, I like the way Ralphie wrote inches at the end so that we knew what he was using to measure. All right, we're going to do one more on here and then we'll go to the, back to the game. All right, now look at this purple shoe. Friends, if you are not muted, can you mute yourselves? All right, go to the end of the shoe, go down. How long is the purple shoe? Is it exactly at 2 or 3 or 4? Is it in between 2 numbers? And how would we write the answer? Go ahead and type. Malik, does your chat work? No?
No,
Okay, then why don't you tell me out loud how long you think it is, my friend?
I think it's 3 or 4.
So I see that too. I see that it's between 3 and 4. So if it's between those, how would we name that? Does somebody know how we would call that number that's between 3 and 4? We would call it, friends, 3.5 inches. Can everybody say that with me?
Inches.
3.5 inches.
Inches.
Okay, 3.5.
Inches.
And there's the answer, okay? And Miss Aponte put the answer in the chat.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna go skip these flip-flops and we're gonna go back to a couple of questions in the game. We're gonna go back to a couple of questions from that game. And when you see it, I want you to give me a thumbs up so I know you can see my screen again. Okay. We're gonna go to question 23. All right, this one says measure the ribbon to the nearest inch. So go to your chat. Look at the end of the ribbon. You gotta go all the way to the end and then go down. And then write how many inches it is in the chat. And instead of just writing a number, I'd like you to write inches too. So Gabby, go ahead and fix your answer now and put inches at the end of it, okay? And Ralphie, you can put IN. That's the abbreviation. Thank you. Oh, you know what, guys? I forgot. You can just write A, B, C, or D, right? Because this game has the letters on them. You could write A, B, C, or D. But we'll do that next time. 10 inches. I agree. The ribbon ends all the way here at 10 inches. Nice job. Okay. We're going to skip. Oh, let me answer it and see if it's right. It's right. Okay, now. Go ahead, measure the rope to the nearest inch and go ahead to the chat box. And then Miss Aponte, were you able to see my chat when I had it open? Could you guys see it right now?
Nope.
Oh, okay, good. Then I'll open it
I
up.
wrote mine right away.
So you can write A, B, C, or D this time because that's quick, okay? So I see who's already in there. Gabby, Ralphie, Lorenzo, Janaya, Lorraine. Great. I'm going to wait for a couple more. Okay, so 6 inches. I agree. It's closest to 6 inches when we come right down. Great. Let's click and see if it's correct.
6 inches.
I agree with 6. All right, now let's measure the toothbrush. Michael, friend, can you mute yourself? All right.
9.
The toothbrush? Thank you. All right, so go ahead and look at Michael. I agree with Michael. 9 inches for the toothbrush. I agree. I love how fast you guys got in the chat. That's awesome. Let's answer 9 and see if it's correct. Okay. Go ahead and measure the pencil to the nearest inch. See if you can get in the chat real quick.
Good buddy.
I see some people getting in the chat really fast. I like the way Lorraine is writing the word inches too. And some people are writing the letters IN, and that is short for the word inch or inches. So that's good too. All right, let's see. A lot of people are saying C. Let's check it. There we go. C, it was 8 inches. Now let's measure the...
Guys, if you're writing on the screen, can you please stop?
Yeah, friends, now we got lines on the screen I can't get rid of. So if that's you, can you erase, please? See a lot of answers in there. A lot of people saying 3. Let's try it. Correct. And here's another ribbon. Now this ribbon, look what they did to the ruler. They flipped the ruler upside down And now they're not using inches anymore. They're using the smaller measurement, which is centimeters. So let's see if we can see how long the ribbon is in centimeters. Is it A, B, C, or D? You got to make sure you go all the way to the end of the ribbon. Michael, do you think it goes all the way out here to 22? Let's look.
21.
I think so too. Let's try it.
It goes 21.
I agree. 21. And let's try one more. This one's also in centimeters. They flipped the ruler upside down. Go to the end of the rope and go down. Janaya and Ralphie, really quick. You guys are in the chat. I like that. You're focused and working. Thank you, Lorraine. I'm going to wait for a couple more people to answer, and then I'll try the answer that people are agreeing on, if people have the same answer. A lot of people are saying 27B. Great job, guys. All right, I'm going to stop that share for a minute. So raise your hand again. How many of my friends have rulers at their house? Okay, so maybe not everybody has a ruler, and that's okay. But if you do have a ruler, I'm going to ask you today to go around your house and try and measure things. Try and measure smaller things with a ruler, okay? Go ahead, Gabby.
I was just saying I got a ruler.
Oh, okay, great. A lot of families also too have measuring tapes, and so it looks like a little metal box and a yellow piece of tape comes out of it and you can pull it long and long. A lot of families have that because they use it to fix things or to measure for furniture. So does anybody have a measuring tape that they know about at their house? Have they ever seen one there?
My dad has
Miss
one.
Santa.
My mom has one in a picnic basket.
Great. Go ahead, Michael. What were you gonna say?
Miss Anna.
Yeah?
Say, do you
What'd you say?
have this on YouTube?
I'm gonna put it on YouTube, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I'll put it on YouTube after. Okay, guys, so the last thing we're gonna, so if you're not sure, ask your family member after the math lesson today if anybody has a measuring tape at the house, and then you could use that to measure longer things, and you could use that to measure things that are not flat. Like you could measure around your neck. You could measure your arm. You could measure how long your bed is, okay? So that's something else you can use if you have one at home. And I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna finish up here in just a few minutes. So thank you guys for being good listeners and working hard today. The last thing we were gonna do, oh man, I gotta go all the way back again. The last thing we're gonna do is estimate. Who remembers what it means to estimate? We haven't done that in a long time. Can somebody unmute and tell me what it means to estimate? Janaya, what do you think, friend? What does it mean to estimate how long an object is?
To measure something.
So I like that idea because we've been talking a lot about measurement. So this has to do with measurement. But instead of actually taking a ruler and measuring something, we're just gonna estimate. Anybody else have an idea what estimate means? Lorenzo? Unmute, buddy. Here, go ahead. What's it mean to estimate? Are we gonna measure with the ruler? What are we gonna do?
I raise my hand to see if Friday we're going to go on Zoom again.
Oh, you had a question. Yeah, on Fridays, every Friday, we'll still do Fun Friday, okay, Lorenzo? Thanks for your question. But while you're unmuted, while you're unmuted, do you think you could help me? What does it mean to estimate something? I'm going to give you a hint. We're actually not going to measure it. We're not going to measure it. We're just going to look at it. It actually means we're going to take a good guess. Can everybody say that? Good guess. That's what an estimate is. It's like taking a good guess. Janaya, my friend, can we have you focused back with us for just like 3 more minutes? So let me show you guys what would be about 1 inch long. I want everybody to take their thumb. Everybody take your thumb. And we're going to show you what would be about 1 inch long. So if you don't have a ruler, you can use your thumb to estimate. I see a lot of people's thumbs up. Can I see everybody? And we're looking at the top half of your thumb, okay? So the part, if you look at that picture, between your knuckle and the top of your thumb, that little part is about 1 inch. So if you're trying to estimate things that are 1 inch, you could walk around your house, pick up an object, put it between your thumb knuckle and the top of your thumb and see if it fits in there good. If it fits in there pretty good, it's probably almost 1 inch long. So I was trying to think what in my house could be 1 inch long. Does anybody have an idea of something in their house that they think is probably 1 inch long? If you have an idea, put it in the chat, and I'm going to show you some ideas I had from my house. I thought a quarter would probably fit pretty good in there. A cube of cheese and a paper clip. Go ahead, Michael. Was that Michael talking?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Michael. What were you saying?
I was going to say, can a tip of the plug work?
What'd you say?
Tip of the plug something in?
The tip of the plug, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe the end of the plug for his computer. If I'm actually holding mine up like that, Michael's right. My tip of my plug is about exactly 1 inch.
I tried this paper clip and it's almost about 1 inch.
Cool. So that's Gabby's estimating. She's saying the paper clip is about 1 inch. We don't know exactly because we didn't use a ruler.
But it's almost. It got past it, my thumb.
Okay.
But
So you think it's actually maybe a little longer than 1 inch? Love it. Lorraine has a pin. And Lorraine, do you think the pin is 1 inch or do you think it's 3 inches? You couldn't tell from your answer in the chat. You think it's 1 or 3 inches?
1.
Oh, cool. All right, so that's how you can go around your house and see if you can find things that are about 1 inch. So that's something you can do later. A centimeter is smaller than that, okay? You guys remember those yellow centimeter cubes we used in 2nd grade? That's how big a centimeter is. So that's a little bit harder to estimate because we can't really use our thumb, but maybe it would just be like as big as your fingernail. And it's even smaller than a penny. So you can see if there's anything in your house that you think might be a centimeter long. I had trouble thinking of ideas because I don't know if I've got anything that's that small. Maybe you guys have little pieces of toys or Legos or something that would be a centimeter, but I couldn't really find anything at my house. Maybe if I like broke my pretzel stick real small. So you guys can think about that one. But I have another one I want you to estimate now. 1 foot long. You guys remember the rulers we used at school? The rulers were about like this long and they are 1 foot long. So I have some examples of things that are a foot long. That sub sandwich from Subway, it's called a foot long because it's 1 foot long. That's how long it would measure if you measured it with a ruler. So it's called a foot long sub. A notebook is about a foot long, and so is a Chromebook. So now that if you look at a Chromebook or if you think about a workbook, notebook, what else is about 1 foot long? Anybody else have any other ideas? You can type in the chat or say it on the thing. Lorenzo, my friend, can you give that to your sister to play with, and can you come back, join us for a minute? What else is about the same size as a notebook or a Chromebook? Anybody else got something?
My brother has a Chromebook.
Yeah, so his Chromebook's probably about 1 foot long. So that's something you guys can look around your house for when we get off the computer today, okay? Something that's about 1 foot long. All right, so when I send you guys, I'm gonna stop my share. Ralphie, that's okay, we're almost done, okay? Javion's got a notebook, love it. So I'm gonna mute friends for a second because I can hear myself talking in the background. Okay, so we're gonna get off actually here in just a minute, but I wanna send people off and let everybody know that today, even if you don't have a ruler at your house, you can walk around your house and estimate how long things are by using your thumb, okay? So show me one more time the part of your thumb that's about 1 inch long, not the whole thumb, that's too big. Okay, so it's just this top part of your thumb, and I want you to walk around the house after we get off the call and see if you can find small objects in your house, hold them up to your thumb, and even if they're too big, so like I have little tweezers here and I hold it up, it's too big. So I'm gonna estimate that this tweezer is actually 2 inches long because it's twice the size. So I'm gonna estimate that. I think this one's 2 inches long. And I have a brush. Whoa, this brush is pretty long. So I'm gonna have to like put it up against my thumb a few times. I could say 1, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the brush is maybe 5 inches long. And then you could check if you do have a ruler or a measuring tape. Okay, my friends? All right, so I would like my friends to tell me in the chat before we leave one thing that you're gonna try and measure when we leave the call today. So go to the chat and everybody type in something that they wanna try and estimate how long it is, okay? Do you wanna estimate a Lego? Are you gonna estimate, Jania's showing us hers. Okay, Jania. There we go, you're gonna estimate how tall that is. Awesome. And my friend Gabby's got a chapstick. Lolo's gonna try and estimate her iPad.
I think this is my mom's.
Oh, really?
I'll find it. I found the rounded object for her, so.
Oh, and a rounded object maybe you would want to use a measuring tape for, okay? So I see a lot of friends choosing objects that they are going to try and estimate later. Awesome. Okay, friends.